It's a sprouting bonanza. Anyways, the old coot here coming back at you with another exciting video. I've done other pieces of like this particular video in the past, which microgreens or sprouts, that I can do and that I've done. So I figured let's just throw it all into one big video. So here we go. So very important is the base, right? Ball mason jars are usually the ones that I recommend. Trusted company, they've been around for at least 50 years, if not 100 years, probably even more than that. But ball mason jars are the ones that I use. These are the wide mouth, right? Give or take just a little over like 2.7 inches, 2.8 inches, almost 3 inches like in the diameter. Wide mouth, right? Whenever you hear wide mouth, that's basically what it is. These come in different sizes as well. So you don't have to buy, this is the 64 ounce. You can buy a smaller version that still has the wide mouth. I prefer the wide mouth because not only can you sprout, right? This is a sprouting lid. Not only can you sprout with these, but you can also ferment with these. And that's where you would buy these wide mouth weights that fit easily, right? They should fit easily in and out of your mason jar. On the other hand, you can go with the regular mouth, right? The regular mouth versus the wide mouth. There's the compare, like the side-by-side comparison. These are just a little bit smaller in diameter, right? You can still sprout with these. Like here's a sprouting lid for this specific size. No problem. The problem is the weights. To this day, right, October 2025, it's getting harder and harder to find weights, like fermenting weights that will fit inside of these smallmouth jars. I have been looking desperately. If you have a link or a contact, please post it down in the comments section so that everybody can see where to get these smallmouth weights. I did find a company on Amazon that said smallmouth weights. I ordered them. Unfortunately, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the fermentation. They were actually this size. They were actually the bigger size. So even though it's like marketing hocus pocus, where they put smallmouth in the description, but when you actually get them, they're about 2.75 inches. So they're meant to fit into here, but they're not meant to fit into there. So I was like, bummer. It is what it is. Anyways, with that being said, the regular mouth or the small mouth sprouting lids are available. I will put links down below in the description. Okay, so that's the base, right? You got to have the right kind of jars to do your sprouting, also your fermentation, maybe both. I think I'm going to end up fermenting these lentils right here. So this is how they started out, right? I took regular lentils, filled up the jar with, I would say, this is the better part of maybe like a half a cup of lentils. Filled it up with water, let them soak overnight, right? Gave them a rinse and then soaked them in the water overnight. Then the next day for about the next like 5 or 6 days, 4 or 5 days, 5 or 6 days, what I would do is fill up the jar with water, pour off the water, right? That's the whole reason why you have these lids, is so that the water can pass through there. And then just basically let them sprout. And then every day fill it up with water, pour off the water, let them sprout. Then we got to this stage. This is now like 5 or 6 days later. I ended up sticking these in the fridge because I couldn't consume them faster than they grew. So I put them in the fridge to stop the sprouting process, but also so I could eat them, at the pace that I like to eat them at. Don't be surprised either if they all get stuck or clumped together as they're growing if you overfill your jar. This sprouts into this and then some, so just be careful. Okay, so with that out of the way, like I said, I'll put as many links to the jars themselves. I like the ball name. I trust the ball name. That's why I buy ball jars. When it comes to like the replacement lids, the sprouting lids, try to get sprouting lids that are stainless steel, right? You'll see 304 stainless steel, 316 stainless steel, 318 stainless. Try to get stainless steel because obviously it's going to prevent everything from rusting. These, I believe, are aluminum, right? So you got aluminum, stainless steel, and then in terms of the glass weights, try to look for ones that are lead-free, right? PBC, BPC, whatever free. Try to get the ones that are like as contaminant-free as possible, and try to get the ones that are like solid glass if you can. I do not put these in the dishwasher. And the reason why I don't put them in the dishwasher is even if there's the smallest, teeniest, tiniest air bubble in the glass, like I don't think these particular ones have any air bubbles, but if there's even a slight microscopic tiny little air bubble in these and you stick them in the dishwasher, the heat cycle, the drying cycle may cause these to literally explode or crack. So just try to get a good glass, solid glass weight if you can. Anyways, with that being said, let's move these off to the side for now. And I'll move the jars off to the side. Let's talk about specific brands, specific microgreens and sprouts that I like. So these are the 4 that I usually rotate through. And I might do like a little bit at a time. What's important is I do not mix and match because they sprout at different rates. So this one is my go-to, right? Rainbow Heirloom Superfood Microgreen mix. There's basically what's in there: broccoli, kohlrabi, radish, collard, and turnip. The mix itself is very, comes out very bright and brilliant. I've done other videos on them, and I just feel like this as a microgreen is great. What I'll do is I'll put them in my smoothie. Sometimes I'll just eat them like on top of a salad, or I'll make a salad out of these themselves after they've sprouted. And the whole goal is once they've sprouted, basically I give them a good rinse in a bowl to separate the actual husk part that separates. Sometimes not. If I'm putting them in the smoothie, I just throw the whole thing in the smoothie. More power to us all, right? More nutrients, etc. This is another go-to one. This is Ruby Red Chard. This one is from Dirt Goddess Super Seeds, right? Organic, non-GMO. These have actually lasted a while, believe it or not. Like I think I bought these maybe in 2021 and they're still sprouting. So that's a testament to these 2 companies that they're actually still sprouting even after 4 years. Oh my God, it's been that long. Yeah, 4 years, they're still actually sprouting. So kudos to them. But yeah, Ruby Red Chard. Basically the way it starts out is it's bright and brilliant and that nice, ruby red color that comes out after sprouting. Okay, this one was a winner for like a year or 2, and then after about 2 years they just stopped sprouting. So what I do is I just use the Ruby Red Garnet. I just make other things with it. But the oh, by the way, that's what the seeds look like on these, and the same basic process. If I'm going to put these into a smoothie, I just throw the whole thing in. The husk and everything goes in. But if I'm going to be just eating them on a salad, usually I put them in a bowl and try to wash or rinse off the sprout from the husk so that the husk stays behind, falls to the bottom of the water, and then I don't have to chew on those husks. This one stopped sprouting. I mean, it's been 4 years. This one stopped sprouting, but when it was fresh, when I originally bought it, it was a game changer, and this sucker just kept producing every time. That beautiful red garnet color, right? It was just amazing. And the amaranth, what I'll probably end up doing is turning this into like maybe almost like a couscous, right? Because I still have this much left in here or so. I don't want to waste it. And I believe somewhere, I don't know where it was exactly, but somewhere on there, there is an expiration date, and I should have paid close attention to that, but I didn't sprout for a while. So anyways, that's that one. This one here, these have stopped as well. So after 4 years, these I bought 4 years ago in 2021 during the height of the pandemic. These were great for about a year or 2. I had good results. These are the same thing. You get that strong, pungent smell of garlic chive, right? While you're sprouting them. These I think took the longest to sprout. I think these were like a week or like 10 days almost. But once they sprouted, put them in a bowl of water, separated the husk, right? The original husk or the original seed from the actual sprout. And then for a salad, or if I was going to make a smoothie with them, I would just put the whole thing in the smoothie. I know it sounds weird, but the micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, all that stuff, I just use the whole damn thing if it's going in a smoothie, or otherwise I would just separate the husks from the whatever if I'm going to eat them in a salad. But anyways, those are the 4 brands that I like. This one was Cool Beans and Sprouts. There are some others that I think I'm going to test out. Also, Heirloom Seeds. There's another one. I can't. I think I used them all. I don't think I have any left. But Heirloom Seeds had sent me some packs of certain products that they had, and I tried sprouting those. Same method, just in the sprouting jar, and everything was good to go. You have to be careful though. There are certain sprouts and microgreens that are meant for these jars. There are other ones that you cannot do in the jars because what happens is if like flax seeds, let me pause for a sec here. I'll show you. And we're back. So for instance, like from Cool Beans, I had also gotten the flax seeds, the flax sprouting seeds. These particular ones like flax, these are meant for the paper towel method. Or if you're going to do like the coconut coir and you're going to actually plant them either in your house or outside or whatever the case may be, like you're going to need a different kind of sprouting system. This will not work in the jar because what these do is when you soak them in water, they create a gelatinous sac, a gelatinous membrane that surrounds the actual seeds. And you can't, it just will not, they'll get all funky and nasty and moldy and that kind of thing. So you cannot do that in the jars. Otherwise you get that nastiness. The way you have to do these is on a paper towel. You can soak them the first night, put them on a paper towel and do them that way. And then every day when you go to rehydrate, you basically got to put another layer of paper towel on top. It's a mess. Or you could just plant them, let them soak overnight. You'll get like a thick, slurry, slimy, gelatinous type thing. Plant those, and then those will sprout. And then basically you trim off with a pair of scissors the actual sprouts, and then basically you stop watering them, and then you can they'll recompost. They'll turn into fertilizer for whatever you decide to plant next. Or otherwise you have to throw away that top layer of coconut coir that they were sprouting in. But anyways, this, and there's also I believe there's a sulforaphane or something like that. There's a mix that Rainbow Heirloom makes, and they'll specify in the marketing materials, or you can just ask them, go online, ask them a question, say, hey, which ones would you recommend for using in mason jars, if I'm going to sprout in mason jars, versus the ones that I have to plant and then use coconut coir or whatever to do that. But anyways, I hope this video out there helps some of you out there. Please comment in the comment section down there below if you have any comments or questions. I will put links to all this stuff down there in the description and also in the comments section. Like I said, just to quickly recap, I prefer the Ball brand of mason jars. They've been around forever. That's the industry standard. And like I said, these do come in different sizes, right? This is the 64, there's a 32 ounce, but basically the wide mouth ones are the ones that I like because you can sprout, you can ferment in them, you can use, you can do dry storage, like dry pasta storage or whatever in them. They're great. In terms of things on this side, right? The only thing, if you're a pasta fanatic, the only thing I don't like about these Ball mason jars is that you can't fit long spaghetti in them. It's just like linguine or spaghetti, they won't fit. Like the spaghetti comes up to like here, but it's a bummer. That's why I have a different system for pasta, which I will link to down below too if you want to see that. But anyways, that's the Ball mason jars, right? If you're going to use these, just know that yes, the sprouting lids, right? Little sprouting lids are available for these, but I cannot, as of October 25, 2025, I cannot find the weights that go in there to do fermentation in there. And then in terms of the actual sprouts themselves, I'll do lentils, I'll do garbanzo. I've done everything in here. Red kidney beans, like I've done like almost everything in these jars, but lentils are kind of cool. And then in terms of the actual microgreens and all that, this is the one that I like the most, Superfood Microgreen mix. This one is ruby red chard, right? This one is the flax that I usually just mix in a smoothie. That's what I use these for. And then there's your garlic chive sprouting seed. And then here's Seed Kingdom's Amaranth Red Garnet. Remember, this channel is all about trying to find the highest quality at the lowest possible prices, meaning somewhere in the middle, the best bang for the buck. Are there other companies, like why wouldn't I buy this from this company? Or why wouldn't I buy this from this company? There's price point and there's the best bang for the buck. And that's why these are all individually, sprouted across the range, pun intended. With that being said, I'll put links down below. I'm the Old Coot, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video.